Hello, welcome. Welcome students in the new video with the new point. We are studying here nationalism in India. How the nationalism started in India. It was started in the 19th century only, but here we are looking about the 20th century. The support of the Indian nationalism got more by the Mahatma Gandhi and how he worked. We started to see from the last video. Now here in this point we are going to see the Rowlatt Act. The work of Mahatma Gandhi. With the support of Mahatma Gandhi, people became more active against of the imperial government, British government. That is why British government brought the new act to crush down the activities against of the British government. That act is called the Rowlatt Act. Two, two photos here, two pictures here. The person with whose name the act is known, that is the Rowlatt Act. And this is that person who is responsible for the infamous incident of the Jalnawala Bagh Massacre. Dyer. So these two personalities are related to the Rowlatt Act. The Rowlatt Act. Now in detail we will see about the Rowlatt Act here. This act had been hurriedly passed. The act was passed hurriedly through Imperial Legislative Council. Imperial, the British government was called the Imperial government. So by the Imperial Legislative Council, the act was hurriedly passed. Despite the united opposition by the Indian members, the Indian members were not ready or having strong opposition for the Rowlatt Act to pass this act. Then also this act was passed by the Imperial Legislative Council. What was the act? See here. This act gave the government enormous power. Through this act, the British government got enormous power, more power, strength. What power they got? Repress political activities. They got the power to repress the political activities and allowed detention of political prisoners. Through this act, without any inquiry, without any legislative activities, the prisoner can be put in the prison 2 years. So this was the act. So here we have seen what was the act, what was the Rowlatt Act, how it passed. The act was passed by the Imperial Legislative Council despite having opposition by the Indian members. And through this act, government got enormous power to repress the political activities of the Indian. It allowed to the political prisoners, to the government, to keep political prisoners in prison 2 years without any trial, allowed detention, custody. To react it, Gandhiji in 1919 decided to launch a nationwide satyagraha against the proposed Rowlatt Act. So Gandhiji decided to start nationwide means throughout the country, nationwide satyagraha against the proposed act. Opposition against Rowlatt Act. How people opposed this act? On 6 April 1919, keep dates in mind. On 6 April 1919, Gandhiji started the non-violent movement. This movement is called non-violent movement, not making any violence. Against such unjust law, the unjust law was the Rowlatt Act, which would start with the Hartal. The Hartal was declared on the 6th April 1919 by the Gandhiji, and this was called the starting of the non-violent movement. How people reacted? Rallies were organized to oppose the Rowlatt Act, rallies were organized in various cities. In different cities, the rallies were organized. Workers went on strike. The people who were working in the industries, they went, or in a railway workshop, went on the strike. Strike means call off. They not went for work. And shop were closed down. What shops were there? That all were closed down. These were the reactions by the Indians to oppose the Rowlatt Act. So with these reactions by the Indians, the British government alarmed, get alert, alarmed by the popular upsurge and scared that lines of communication such as the railways and telegraphs would be disrupted. The British government got frightened. Maybe the lines of communication will be disrupted by these Indians. That is why the British administration decided to clamp down, strict action. Clamp down means the strict action. They want to take the strict action against of the Indians. So how they clamped down this action, we will see here. Indian nationalities. The British administration decided to clamp down on nationalists. What they done? Local leaders were picked up from Amritsar. From Amritsar, they picked the local leaders. Next action. Mahatma Gandhi was barred from entering Delhi. Restriction for the Mahatma Gandhi to enter in Delhi. On 10th April, after 6th April, the Hartal was declared on the 6th April. This is the 10th April. Keep sequence in your mind. The police in Amritsar fired upon a peaceful procession. On the 10th April, the procession was going on, but the British police fired on this peaceful procession, provoking widespread attacks on banks, post office and railway stations. By the anger of the non-violence movement, which Hartal started by the Indians, the police attacked on the peaceful procession. This was the turning point in the Indian history also, or for the national movement also, to imposing martial law. The martial law was imposed and General Dyer took command. The complete command was given to the General Dyer and the martial law was imposed. In this way, British were started to work to crush down the Indian national movement. Now, after this procession, after imposing the martial law, what happened in the Punjab, we will see here. Jalnawala Bagh Massacre. This was an infamous incident in the Indian history. This taken place at the 30th April 1919. 6th April, 10th April, and this is the 30th April. What happened here? We will see. A large crowd had assembled in a Jalnawala Bagh massacre. A large crowd, many people came together in a Jalnawala Bagh at this place in the Amritsar to attend the Baisakhi fair. The Baisakhi fair they want to enjoy here. That is why they came together. But on other hand, General Dyer surrounded the ground and opened the fire on the ground. He surrounded that place and made open fire on the crowd. There was no any exit place to the people to escape themselves cause of that one. The order of General Dyer killed hundreds of people. So this was the General Dyer's action, and this was the Jalnawala Bagh massacre. The people who came for this fair actually were far from the cities. They came from the villages to attend the Baisakhi fair. These people were unaware about the martial law which was imposed. But the dyer didn't understand this thing and blocked the exit point and made open fire on the crowd. Then later on he declared his object. What was the object? He wanted to produce a moral effect, to create in the minds of satyagrahis a feeling of terror and awe. My intention was not to kill the people, just I was making the respect for the law in the mind of satyagrahis. This was the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. This is the map of India. For exam also it is important. The place of Amritsar where the Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place. The narrow lane to enter in a Jallianwala Bagh massacre where the massacre is taken place. The area for the entering, it will give you idea how it was difficult to escape from this place. This is the Martyrs' Well in the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The Martyrs' Well it is called. At Jallianwala Bagh massacre, 120 bodies were recovered from this well as per inscription it. So when people not get place to escape themselves, many were jumped in this well. It is also having in the Jallianwala Bagh area. The news of Jallianwala Bagh massacre spread. Then crowds took to the streets in many North Indian towns. In many North Indian towns, crowd came on the road. There were strikes, clashes with the police and attacks on government buildings. The people reacted against the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. The government is very brutal here. They attacked on the government buildings. After that what happened? This is the reaction by the government. The government responded with brutal repression seeking to humiliate and terrorize people. The government humiliated the people and spread terror in the mind of Indians. The government responded with brutal oppression seeking to humiliate and terrorize people. Satyagrahis were forced to rub their noses on the ground. What humiliations were done there? The Satyagrahis were forced to rub their noses on the ground, crawl on the streets, do salam to the sahibs, to the British officers. The Satyagrahis have to make salam or the salute. People were flogged, beating with stick, flogged, and villages were burned. So this was the response of the British government to the Indians after the government reacted very brutally and crushed the non-violence movement. Everywhere in the North India, the violence was spread. So Gandhiji called off movement after saying the violence. This was the non-violence movement, and looking this violence, Gandhiji called off the movement. This is the end of non-violence movement. After this, what happened? What Gandhiji had done, we will see. While the Rowlatt Satyagraha had been a widespread movement, it was widespread movement, the Rowlatt Satyagraha. It was still limited mostly in cities and towns, but most of people who were involved in the Rowlatt Satyagraha, they belong from the cities and towns. Mahatma Gandhi now felt the need to launch a more broad-based movement in India, but he was certain that no such movement could be organized without bringing the Hindus and Muslims closer together. To make unity in the Hindus and Muslims is a needing to make the broad movement in the India. One way of doing this he felt was to take up the Killapath issue, to bring the Hindus and Muslims together. The Killapath issue is a we can take it and we can bring this both together. That is called Killapath movement. We will see what was the Killapath movement here. The First World War ended with the defeat of Ottoman Turkey. The Ottoman Empire belongs from the Turkey. We have studied little bit about him in the earlier chapter. So with the end of First World War, there was defeat of Ottoman Empire also, Turkey also. And there were rumors that a harsh peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman Emperor. At the same time, the rumors were spread in the world. What rumors were spread? The peace treaty was going to be imposed on the Ottoman Emperor. The Ottoman Emperor who was there? The spiritual head of the Islamic world, that is the Khalifa. The Islamic people respect, or he was the spiritual head of the Islamic world. He was called the Khalifa. To defend the Khalifa's temporal power, the Killapath Committee was formed in Bombay in March 1990. In India also, there was support to this Killapath movement or to support the Ottoman Emperor. That committee is formed in India in March 1990. A young generation of Muslim leaders like the brothers Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. These are the Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali who taken lead in the India to form the Killapath Committee. Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali began discussing with Mahatma Gandhi about the possibilities of a united mass action on the issue. So these people started to speak with Mahatma Gandhi to get support and give united support to the Killapath issue. Gandhiji saw this is an opportunity to bring Muslim in a national movement. Muslims should not remain away from the national movement, and this is an opportunity, big opportunity, to bring these people also in the flow of nationalism in the movement of nation. At the Calcutta session of the Congress in September 1920, he convinced other leaders of the need to start a non-cooperation movement in support of Killapath as well as for Swaraj. The thought of non-cooperation movement emerged and there was discussion to support the Killapath also. So in this way, the new movement is emerged with this crisis and support to the Killapath movement also. We have studied here in this part the Rowlatt Act. The act how passed? What was the act? The Jalnawala Bagh Massacre. Then reaction after the Jalnawala Bagh Massacre. Calling off of the movement. And then to give support to the Killapath issue, the Killapath movement, and the rising of non-cooperation movement. This part we have seen in this video. In the next video, we will see why there was need to bring non-cooperation movement.